Hello. I've got anxiety and PTSD and ADHD and bipolar disorder. Is that everything? I'm not even sure. These are all things that I have been clinically diagnosed with, and I'm just going to share my experiences with them throughout my life. I'm going to start, however, with where I am now. I am still affected by my anxiety mostly every day, if not every day. I am managing my ADHD and my bipolar disorder better because I am medicated for both of those. And my PTSD is going as okay as it can, I suppose. There is a trigger warning for this video. I will be mentioning self-harm, sewer slide. I'm not sure how much I need to censor for YouTube, but it is important to talk about these things. So, if the real word slips out, oh well. But yes, huge trigger warning, mental health issues, such as what I mentioned previously, and just anything else that could happen with mental health. It is a struggle out here, for real. So I have tried many medications for anxiety and for depression. This was before I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. My therapist and psychiatrist, my current ones, believe that I do not have depression because I have bipolar disorder. I was recently diagnosed with that. And so we think that any depression symptoms that I have are because of the depression that goes along with bipolar disorder. And with my bipolar disorder, I have periods of mania, but more often I have periods of depression. So the lows, I have more lows rather than highs, which is why it was very important for me to get medicated for that. Now, I am a 27-year-old woman. I was diagnosed with anxiety when I first started seeing a therapist, well, a counselor really, when I was 18. No, I was not 18. I was about 20. I think I was 20. I didn't start talking to a professional as soon as I should have because I didn't want to. It's been hard. And she diagnosed me with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. The anxiety and PTSD are definitely very, very relevant. They make a lot of sense. And of course, like I mentioned previously, the depression has since been thrown out in lieu of bipolar disorder. I was just diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar disorder at the beginning of this year, 2023. So these are very recent diagnoses for me. I have suspected ADHD for a couple of years, I think since 2020, when it was kind of big and everybody was talking about it on social media, like, oh, signs you might have ADHD. And my husband had actually been looking at these first and suspects he has ADHD. He is seeking a clinical diagnosis right now. It's a struggle. I live in America, and for ADHD, you can't just be diagnosed by your psychiatrist. At least in my case and my husband's case. We had to get a referral from another place that specifically diagnoses disorders such as ADHD and DID, things of that nature. So waiting for that phone call took forever, and then setting it up didn't take as long, but it's a long process. And then they, at least for my experience, they called my mom to kind of see how I was during childhood, to see if I had any signs of ADHD. And then I had to take the test type thing, and there was another woman who works there who kind of guided me through the testing and everything. As I was taking the tests, I thought that I did really well. As in, too well, as in, oh my gosh, they are not going to diagnose me with ADHD. I did too well on these. And then when I went back to have my results read out to me from a doctor, first, he didn't even tell me, like, oh, it looks like you do have ADHD. He was like, okay, so the hyperactive and the attention attention deficit, they're both really prevalent in you. So it was like, that was pretty much the first thing he said, is I have a lot of symptoms for both the D and the HD. Oh my gosh. So, or the A, whatever. I'm not editing this. The point is with ADHD, you can show signs of just the attention deficit or just the hyperactivity. But with me, I showed signs of both. And the reason I was not diagnosed when I was a child is because of my PTSD and my anxiety. I was in a pretty much permanent state of freeze and fawn. Which is part of the fight or flight response. There's actually 4: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fight, obviously, flight, running away. Freeze, you're just kind of staying there. And fawn is, for example, if you are getting yelled at by a parent. Fawn would be simply just being like, yes, yes, okay, I'll do that. I'll do better. I'm so sorry. Just kind of fawning over them, fawning to them, like that. So, because I was in freeze and fawn, in class, I would just sit there and I would do what I was supposed to do, and I would go home. And at home, it was pretty much the same. So, that is why I was not diagnosed as a child. It is also harder to diagnose females. I kind of hate using that word, but it's relevant, I suppose, than it is to diagnose males. So, yeah, here we are. And my bipolar disorder, on the other hand, I had no idea. I thought I had borderline personality disorder. I do not. I have seen 4 therapists in my life now. With each one, pretty much in the first or second session, I sit down and I say, I think I have borderline personality disorder. Why do you think you have that? Okay, well, this, and this. And then they're like, well, typically BPD patients don't really think that they have it, and you're not displaying as extreme signs for each of these. And that just kind of made me feel invalidated. However, it now makes sense because I don't have BPD. I have bipolar disorder, which I never even thought about. And I don't really know why. But after getting diagnosed with it and then looking back at the list of symptoms and everything, it's like, oh my goodness, this fits me to a T, unfortunately. I wish I could be neurotypical. I wish I could be walking around with no mental health diagnoses, but unfortunately that's not the case. And so here I am trying to hopefully give solidarity. Look at this is a symptom of my anxiety, is I pick off my nail polish. This is real, you guys. So here's a symptom, a sign of anxiety. All right. I forgot the end of that thought, so we'll just move on to the next one. My experience with anxiety has been constant picking at my fingers for as long as I can remember, constantly cracking my joints, feeling like I just need to fidget, which kind of also goes along with ADHD, but I feel like specifically the things I've listed off are more of the anxiety. I also have been told that I have OCD tendencies, and I'm not sure if that kind of goes more along with the anxiety or if I maybe do have OCD, but essentially I have to use things in order. What does that mean? That means this shirt was a part of the first 3 tops in my closet that are hanging up, and so I had to wear it. I had to wear either number 1, 2, or 3, and this was one of them. And I say had to and have to because these are just things that I instill upon myself. They're kind of self-imposed rules. And if I don't follow them, well, there is no if I don't follow them. I have to. I simply have to. I don't know what'll happen if I don't. It makes me feel really uncomfortable, and so I do. And it's no big deal. So I always wear the first pair of socks that is next, because nobody's really going to see them, so I don't really have to match them to anything. And then leggings, I wear the first pair that will match the top that I pick, or I'll wear the first pair of leggings and then pair it with the first top that matches those leggings. It's a struggle. And so when I do my laundry and finally put my laundry away after several days, I put each thing at the end of each category so that, as time goes on, they just keep on moving. I hate making phone calls. I'm much better at it now, but I've always hated having to make a phone call. Even if I know exactly what's going to happen when I make the phone call, I hate it. It sucks. I tend to make plans when I'm feeling manic or happy, and then I cancel them the day of because of my anxiety. I just feel like I am too terrified to leave the house. And it's not even terrified. It's not like I think the moment I'm going to step outside I'm going to get or something. It's just I just can't do it. It feels uncomfortable, and with anxiety, things that aren't just me being in my comfort zone feel uncomfortable. And if I feel the littlest sense of discomfort, I do everything in my power to bring me back to the level of comfort that I like and I am used to. That being said, I have struggled very much with keeping jobs throughout my life since being 17 and I started my first job, because leaving the house gives me extreme anxiety. And so going to my jobs would give me extreme anxiety, on top of issues that would happen with the job, such as my very first one was very cliquey. It was my high school and the neighboring high school teenagers that would work at this restaurant that I was a waitress at. And everyone at the neighboring high school was just super cliquey within themselves. They were super mean girls, and it was very, very bad. They would say things not to my face, but right next to me where they knew I could hear. And so I hated going to that job, so I would try to get my shifts covered as much as I possibly could. And with my customer service jobs, retail, I hated those because, and I still feel it, anytime someone shows any level of annoyance at a place, if I'm in line behind someone and they try to use a coupon and the cashier says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, this coupon expired," I feel this visceral feeling in my body well up, and it makes me terrified of what they're going to do next. Like, oh my gosh, this customer is going to freak out and I don't know what I'm going to do and I'm scared. And that is from years of dealing with horrible customers. So thanks to everybody who treats employees horribly. But anyway, my anxiety has affected me so much throughout my whole life, and it still affects me to this day because I haven't found a really good medication to help me with it, and I'm pretty much tackling my ADHD and my bipolar disorder right now with meds. It's great. It's great. It's not great. My PTSD. This is like the scariest one to even think about, because you get PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from trauma. Growing up, I experienced a lot of that T word, and because of that, I tend to dissociate a lot when I even try to think about it. I have another disorder that resulted from it that I've not been clinically diagnosed with, but this video is only about my clinically diagnosed things, so I'm just going to talk about those. I am starting EMDR in therapy, and the first thing that my therapist had me do is write out a list of my traumas that I want to go over with EMDR. I can't remember what EMDR stands for, I'm so sorry, but it's a type of therapy. And she told me, oh my gosh, I once had a patient write down 25 traumas. It took us a long time to get through them, but we did. So, you'll probably have less than that. And I wrote them all out, and I have 24. 24. So, And those are just the things that I could think of, because when I have to do homework, I sit down and bang it out right there. So that was the 24 things that popped into my head as I was sitting there, like, I have to make this list for therapy. Because of my PTSD, I dissociate, like I said. I have harmed myself. I have tried to commit suicide, if you know what I mean. I have had those thoughts before. I'm currently at a point in my life where I don't, and I haven't for a few years, I think. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. But if any of my disorders would it would be the PTSD. It's really difficult to talk about, even though I'm in a pretty good place in my life right now, which is why I am starting EMDR therapy with my therapist. My bipolar disorder. So the reason I thought I had borderline personality disorder is kind of the symptoms that I have with bipolar disorder is I tend to be very, very impulsive. If I am going shopping and I see things that I like, and if I have the space on my credit card, I'm going to buy them. Simple as. When I buy things, it makes me really, really happy. And so why not chase that happiness? And so shopping sprees. Happens all the time with online shopping. That's how this shirt is in my life now. And I like buying things such as my hair to make me happy. If I have my natural hair color, which is kind of a dirty blonde, I hate the way that looks on me. And so I just always want to change it and keep myself happy. If my mood can change like that, just the littlest thing changes my mood, and then I am feeling like that for the rest of the day plus. So if I am feeling, kind of okay, but then my husband says, oh, we can't have McDonald's tonight for dinner, for instance, and I was really looking forward to having McDonald's for dinner, my mood is going to be trashed, and I'm going to just be sitting there like super sad forever. Essentially, it feels like forever. And it's not trying to be manipulative or anything like that. That's just, it's how I feel. And I can't hide my emotions with my face. So that's just what gets portrayed until my mood changes again. So if I get told, hey, we're going to go on a road trip soon, and I love road trips. I love staying in hotels more than anything in the entire universe. I don't know why, I just love hotels. But if I get told that, I'm elated. I'm on cloud nine. I'm so happy that I feel like I can do literally anything. I'm so happy that I go and get tattoos. I'm so happy that I think, hey, let me go get a piercing. I'm so happy that I think, oh my gosh, I want to go take a drive right now. I'm going to drive as fast as I want. I'm going to listen to my music very, very, very loudly, and I'm just going to cruise. I have never been in a car accident, by the way. Knock on wood, because I don't want to be. I'm a safe driver, but I'm not a safe driver at the same time. I just like to go fast, but I do it safely. When I'm in a mood, whether that is an elated mood, a really sad mood, a really angry mood, whatever, I like to go fast. My partner has told me that he has to walk on eggshells around me because he never knows what he says if that's going to trigger a mood. And he told me that after I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and we've been together since 2014. I didn't know just how badly he felt before he told me that. And this was because I was either trying a new medication or had just gotten done with therapy that day. And so when those things happen, I tend to feel okay, like, everything's fine. I'm not really going to get triggered into something unless something triggers my PTSD, but I'm not really going to have something that makes my mood just, unless it's something that would make a normal person do that. And same for really high up here. And so he was able to talk to me kind of about how he felt being in a relationship with someone with bipolar disorder, unmedicated and undiagnosed for so many years. And I felt so bad for him. And it sucks living with the disorders yourself because just so many reasons. It's so hard to live with your own brain. You don't get a break from yourself. But knowing that somebody else was so affected by this disorder that I have, and wasn't diagnosed or anything, it really breaks my heart to think about, because I can't imagine living life the way that he does, having a partner that has bipolar disorder. It sounds horrible, to be honest with you. But getting diagnosed and being medicated and getting help and therapy for it has helped me so much. And I'm not trying to push for people to be medicated. I'm just simply expressing that it has helped me. And it could help you too. But absolutely, if you do not want to be on medication, do not. And so things are so much better now with me, with my relationship, with my friendships, because of that. So yeah. And then there's my ADHD. My ADHD affects my job in the way that it's really, really hard for me to focus when I need to. And so because of that, I'm at a good place with work. I work from home and I make my own hours with what I do. So that helps. When I feel focused and motivated, I work. And when I don't anymore, I stop. And this has been so perfect for me and my ADHD. I forget things all the time because of it too. I forget something someone told me 5 minutes ago. I forget where I set my phone down. Constantly, I am constantly looking for my phone. And of course I keep it on silent because I hate the sound of it vibrating or dinging or ringing. And so I keep it on silent. And so when I lose it and can't find it, I can't just simply have my husband call it so that I can hear it or whatever. It sucks. There's just like so many other things. The reason I look the way that I do in terms of my body is because of my ADHD. My first 27 years of life have been achieving dopamine through food. And I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I had no idea why people or how people could maintain healthier weights. Like how? Because when you're feeling anything other than happy, you have to eat. And it can't be celery. Like, it has to be something that gives you the happy chemical. And so living like this for my whole life, I gained a lot of weight. And I'm now finally starting to lose it because I am medicated for my ADHD. And being on medication means that I now only eat when I'm hungry and I stop when I'm full and I don't snack at all. And saying these words still feels like such a foreign concept to me, because how does one just not snack throughout the day, and how does one just not completely stuff themselves to the point of being so uncomfortable? But me on medication for my ADHD means that I can have normal eating habits, and it's great. And eating, vegetables makes me happier too. It's great. I eat healthier. I stop eating when I'm full, and I only eat when I'm hungry, and I don't snack. It's amazing. I love it. And so because of that, I am losing weight naturally and healthy. And, getting weight loss surgery, I have no problem with. It's something I was looking into just before getting diagnosed with ADHD. And so, any way you do it is valid as long as you are not doing it unhealthily, in which case you should seek professional help. All right, is that it? I went through the list of the things I've been diagnosed with and that I still am diagnosed with. Super. I hope that this helped. Even if it helped just one person, that makes my whole entire life. I love that. So, thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this, as well as makeup content, I post those things on this channel, so please subscribe. Please like this video if you related to it, if you think it'll help you, if you just like it when people talk about mental health. on the internet so that it gets more normalized and not so stigmatized, please like it. All right. Thank you again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Bye.